Hello everyone, we are live again with anonymous female claiming to be an abducted 3-year-old from 1974 out of Utah. Today we're going to be, we'll do a small little recap for people who didn't watch the other video. Do you want to give a brief description of who you think you are and why you're coming forward?
I know who I am. I couldn't remember before due to the auto accident. I was stolen in 1974 from Moab, Utah, to be exact, at Goose Island Trail. I did notify everybody. The police in Moab, I contacted neighbors, when I say everybody, I mean everybody. Nobody wanted to help get my DNA done. I mean, it's crazy.
But your other claims, which photos that we, was provided, that there were others abducted as well, correct? Throughout
Yes,
the years of you be using basically you as bait, correct? Yeah, sickening. Who are the other two abducted boys? This is just a recap for. This is just a recap for people who have not yet heard the first video, and then we'll go into answering people's questions.
Okay.
Who were the other boys?
Etan Patz and Kurt Newman.
Etan. I was calling him Ethan all day yesterday too. It's just one of those things.
That's how
Yeah, Etan Patz and Kurt Newton. Okay. Now, one thing that we talked about yesterday, correct, was that the similarities with your calic. I want to address one of the questions to one of the viewers. Do you have a mole on the right side of your on your right ear?
Yeah.
Which, if the video was watched, you tried to show them.
I got one right in here, and I got one right in the front.
Right. Okay. And the eyes are unmistakable. We will also provide the pictures as well as, like I did with the other video. Okay. Another one of the questions is you already contacted NAMUS, correct, within the past year?
Yeah.
Okay. And nothing
it's been
was
over a year.
Okay.
Nobody called me back. Nobody replied. I have every single message I wrote to them. I photocopied everything.
You contacted National Center for Missing and Exploited Children as well?
Yeah. Nobody called me back.
You contacted the Utah Sheriff's Department?
Yep. And I contacted cold cases too.
Okay.
And I left a message on Mr. Walsh's Facebook page. He never replied to me either. Because he was doing that one sock off challenge thing, and he was doing a live thing, and I wrote in and I told him exactly what was what. Nobody called me back. Nobody knows nothing. You're the first person that got in contact with me. I didn't even come to you. You came to me. You're the only one that ever did that.
Well, after you leaving a comment on our page.
Yeah,
because we were looking for cases to put out there.
Yeah, at least you didn't ignore me.
Oh, no. Yeah, no, Missing America's not about that. It's kind of like, we see people kind of like, some people see criminals. You're innocent until proven guilty. You contacted other missing persons groups as well, correct?
Yeah.
And what was their response?
Oh, I wish you the best of luck. They can't help it out.
Okay.
I just think they're all thinking nuts or something, because I know what is what.
Yeah. I'm just going to pull up real quick. You might come down. I'm just going to be looking at some more of the questions. A lot of the reason why I'm doing this is because a lot of the questions are already things that we recapped in the first video. what's comforting is most of the comments are, we believe her, we believe her. Now, okay, now I can go back. Let's see if this works. Okay, now, one of the questions is you really didn't talk about Kurt Newton too much, and they want to know if they're still alive. Welcome, Betty from Delaware.
Yes, he's alive.
Okay, and
Etan's alive too.
Etan Patz.
Not gone.
Well, let's hope it stays that way.
You and me both.
Now, yeah, that message was from Stephanie Duke. I don't want to make this video too long. Now, I'm just going to recap. Pictures provided, Etan Patz. Now, here is a GIMP possession. Now, one of the ladies had said that the nose and the eyebrows for Etan does not match up. I disagree. Someone that's been doing GIMP processes for 12 years, unless this woman has a degree. I thank you for your opinion, but I disagree. We also have a... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay, me too, because I was with them when they stole him. I know it's him, and I know what is what. And once my DNA is done, hopefully theirs will open up. But I know what is what.
I'm going to pop back. Yeah, I disagree with her. If you don't know what you're looking at, and you don't know how certain facial parts based off of your parents grow differently, if you don't know what you're looking at, I would assume that someone would have that opinion. I don't have that opinion, and neither do 99.9% of our followers. We have a hypnotherapist that is going to, I don't know if she wants her name public, so we're going to go back to that. Now, Dina Lynn, which is someone I know very well, she's asking for the names that Etan Patz, and I already know what you're going to say, and I agree with you. This is now an open investigation, and we will not be revealing that right now. I appreciate it, Dina. I appreciate that, Dina. Dina is a sort of like someone like me. That fights for society. I mean, she's looking to jump in and solve this case. I'm guaranteeing you that. She's awesome. Okay. Okay. One was okay. Does the woman in the video have a mole on her right ear and a protruding belly button?
I had the belly button. I did have surgery.
Okay. Yeah, you're getting those medical records, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. It looks like they did some things to disguise, especially the hair right after. One of the questions from Megan Brown, do you know what state you were born in? No. Which you would probably know that if you did research about the person that's missing. But you don't have that. And I know you didn't know your brother's first name, you just knew you were there with your brother. And one of the comments from our other video was that some of the information that you said was already put out in the news, or already put out. There's really not much about Jenny put out, period. And that's one of the things I discussed with you prior to this. There's no age progression. It doesn't seem like they have really done much to work her case. Usually there's other things, especially with old cold cases, that are usually done on the older cases in order to bring them back to life or to take them out of being a cold case. And I've noticed, besides Etan Patz, which was only a regression of him probably being a couple years older, nothing was done. Which if you look at, and even kids from the 80s or the 60s, you always see age progressions. Those particular cases have no age progressions or look like they really care about solving them. So, hold on a second. The 3 girls in Ohio, this is about the same. Yeah, Patty. I agree. Listen, I have already told her, does the story come out like, wow, like this is crazy, how could this happen? Yeah, of course. But if she did not provide, first of all, some information that is only privy to detectives on the case, which I already knew, I would not be going live. If she did not provide pictures of them growing up, I would not be coming live. Would I have tried to help her? Absolutely. But if someone would have given this lady the time of day to ask her the right questions, to give her the chance to prove what she's saying, which she did very quickly. I asked for pictures. I got them immediately. It's not something that took her a week to send me or something she looked to find and it's the same person in the same background.
Keep them in my Bible.
Yeah, she keeps them in her Bible. So, yes. If the Utah police, the sheriff's department, if any of these people, one being Harvey Fishburne, which was Etan Patz's lawyer, correct?
Yeah, I called him.
Yeah, you called him too. And what happened with that?
I told him this is why he was in trial with that case that he was doing against the guy that supposedly did this to Ethan. But I called to tell him he didn't do it. And he didn't do it. And he said, okay, I'm going to get my private investigator to call you back. Well, he called me back, and then I told him what I know. And then a couple of days later, I didn't hear nothing else.
And there was nothing said in the trial, correct? No, because I guarantee you the limited abilities of some of these people, and I'm not putting them down, but if you look into your background, they're going to see a normal person with a normal birth certificate, correct?
Yeah.
But you are not the person who is on your birth certificate, correct?
No.
Yeah.
I know I'm...
No, I mean, that's kind of hard. What do you do? It's not like you're purposely breaking the law. You've been trying to tell people for over a year since you started remembering. So, if they would have just gave you the time of day, and I don't blame you because I personally reached out to him. I got a phone call back from his paralegal wanting to know what I wanted to talk about, and that is not something that I was comfortable sharing with a third party. And as I told you, that as I kept asking her, she kept saying, well, he's not going to be able to call you back in a few days. What's your message? What are you calling about? I want to speak to him. She kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And I know that's the way that is. But I'm wondering, I'm curiously wondering that if he purposely held this information back during this trial, if it would have made a difference.
They would have spoke to me a long time ago. They could have had my DNA a long time ago, and they could have proved everybody's everybody a year ago. But nobody wants to listen to me. That's why I need your help. Now,
I was also doing a little research too. everything that you have contended has been backed up with pictures and information that no one would have known. I'm wondering if this constitutes violating your right to due process. That law is a little bit weird, and it's got a fine line, but I'm wondering if that's going to fall under this, by the way. All right. Now let's go back to some of the other questions. We're just going to make this quick. Okay. Now, Alyssa states, I thought that they found Etan Patz dead. No, they did not. I'm going to answer that question. Etan Patz's body was never found. Just most of them has been her DNA needs to be done. Now, you do remember some things prior to your abduction, which everyone, most of the people are don't normally remember things at 3 years old. But I also know that you had a car accident and you have a traumatic brain injury, correct? And you have problems with your short-term memory. And I knew this for a fact because I personally experienced it with one of my family members, and someone that I care about very dearly, that when that certain part of your brain is affected, you will actually, the person I'm speaking about remembers stuff from when they were actually born to in the womb. It's very, very weird.
A rare condition, probably.
It's a certain part of the brain that is overcompensating, and I'm wondering if this is not what made that suppressed memories, because you were brainwashed, correct? Yeah, I'm not surprised. Now, you did remember things of what your house looked like in Utah, I think you said, or you had a cat.
I don't believe we lived in Utah, to be honest. I don't believe that.
Some things are a little wishy-washy, right?
Yeah, I don't believe we lived there in Utah. Because, I got a pink and white kitchen set for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, I just remember my pink and white. I don't know if it was Christmas, my birthday, but I remember that pink and white kitchen. I was leaving in the trailer to go to Moab. I remember seeing it in a pile of garbage. Like, all our stuff was outside, so I think wherever we were moving.
Okay.
I remember it sitting in a pile. And I started crying, and my mama said, don't worry, we'll get you another one.
But some of your memories are
in and out.
Weird and well, that's normal. If you look, if you actually have to have experience with how that stuff works in order to understand it. And I don't expect everyone to. But you remember a cat too, correct?
Yeah, it was gray.
Yeah, and your story since you've been talking to me has stayed consistent. Nothing has veered. Was another reason. Now, one thing is I believe her father's name is Howard.
My mama used to call him Howie.
Howie?
I remember.
Okay.
I remember when he used to come from wherever he used to come from, she'd be like, oh, Howie, I can remember. I hear it in my head still to this day. It's weird. I can't explain it, but it's there.
And I noticed that you had also sent me a sketch on where the trailer was versus where you were near the water, and the black car that you keep saying that was there. Now, one thing that I know that law enforcement didn't say, or nothing has been put out on the internet, you remember the color of the interior of that car, correct?
Yeah, it was tan. I was in it for a long time crying.
And which is the same black car that you were in when they abducted Etan, but a different interior, different car, right? But black.
Yeah. They were both old black-looking cars, but just the inside, the one I was in was tan, and the one when he took was black inside. Okay. It was like black.
So there is nothing that I was able to find on the internet that says anything about Etan interior. I'm reading some of the things. It's hard for me to keep switching back and forth, so if anyone has any questions, if you can put them underneath the side video, I'd appreciate it. I was hoping to have another device in order to do this better. As a case manager, she's contacted everybody, and of course, now all of a sudden, since we're putting her story out, everyone wants in. This is not about exploitation. This is about proving what she's saying, and that's all she wants. There is no GoFundMe. She is not asking for any money. No one is asking for any money. She just wants them to come get her DNA to prove what she's saying. And also, you're worried about Etan and Kurt, if in fact that's who is them.
It is.
Now, before I go, there were some memories that you said your aunt was at this place as well, correct? When you were abducted?
No, she wasn't. She came to the house a little before we left to the camping trip, and my mama was telling me who she was, that it was my dad's sister, and they were checking me for birthmarks. That's how it's the same lady that we went to the mall with, and she's the one that told me to pull the sand gear down. It's the same aunt.
Yeah, I find that very strange.
I remember her as well.
Yeah, I find that very odd, but I guess there could have been a reason for it. Let me go back. If anyone has any questions, please ask them now. I'm going to give it a little time. There's a lot of questions, especially a lot of questions. This video is actually going to be converted over to my YouTube channel, which I apologize about the other one. Missing Exploited Children has already been contacted, Alyssa. She has reached out to everyone and their mother in the past year and a half. Otherwise, I wouldn't. Grand County Sheriff's Office, she already got the runaround from them. Which I can tell you, what they probably did. They probably looked into her background and found a normal birth certificate, even though that's not her, according to her, which is kind of crazy. We're not going to go and recap everything. I'm just going to give everyone a minute. We have a lot of people watching, but not that many people commenting. Just mostly it's I believe her, I believe her, I believe her. Patty Becker says it's the same as the 3 girls from Ohio, which I agree with her, because they had neighbors on both sides of her. The house was all boarded up like a fortress. It was, if I lived next to that guy, I would have been absolutely I would have been suspicious. But then again, I'm suspicious of everybody. Okay. Now, Karen says, gosh, I hate to say this, but could her parents have had anything to do with her kidnapping? This is so strange that the aunt is checking for birthmarks. Is this something that came across your mind?
I thought about it, but I don't want to think like that.
But there are also other things that we decided that we are not going to make public that maybe makes you feel that there's a reason why this could have been planned, right? Yeah. But you don't want to think like that. And we're not going to know. We can sit here and I believe, Heather, we've been doing a lot of work and a lot of digging. I believe both of her parents are still alive, and she's got a brother and named Jeff, and possible 3 sisters. Missing in America is doing everything in their mother, and a lot of people that's actually been sending information to our Facebook page to help this very worthy young lady. Now, she also provided a picture. Do you remember the picture that you provided with me?
Which one?
The one with you, the youngest, that you look like Jenny.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I can tell you the exact house, where it was. I can tell you everything.
No, but do you remember exactly how long after you were abducted that picture was taken, approximately?
Okay. Yeah, it was the older gentleman's birthday.
Which was supposed to be your grandfather, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it like,
Okay, your fake grandparents.
Yeah. It was his birthday, so she made him a fish. It was like it shaped as a fish, but it had a cat. And then she made me a panda, and I was trying to hold up the number 3, but I couldn't. I remember that. I can remember the exact house it was in. I can remember I was riding my red tricycle right before I took that picture, and I can remember taking that picture of me, the one on the missing poster. I remember that picture too. I was chewing on the ends of my hair like this. Yeah, and I kept pulling it.
That's something also only your parents would know.
I don't like nothing tied around my neck. I kept pulling it back, and then my mama, she kissed me, and she was like, "It's okay, Jenny, leave. When we get you home, I'll change you." I can remember taking that picture.
Now, can the FBI pick up her case? I'm going to say that her case now is in the right hands, and that's all I can comment on. Karen says, "You are so beautiful. It's heartbreaking for you. I believe you, sweetie, and I am sorry this has happened." Most of the people, like she had explained, that everyone has been treating her like she's crazy. Now, me hearing all her story, her whole story, and knowing all the facts behind her case, I don't know anybody which wouldn't have any psychological issues going through what this poor girl has gone through. We're talking about devil worshipping, a change of names, being abducted, being used to be abducted for 2 other abductions that she remembers. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, come on. I respect that, and I respect that. I mean, this is one thing that I think that law enforcement needs to have changed. You're talking about a girl that has been through, and I don't think you're crazy. I think you're holding up very well. The eye contact is there, has always been there. There's no thinking about what she's going to say. The stories stayed consistent. You do have some issues because of what has happened to you, correct? Which is totally understandable. I think anybody that would say that anybody that has been through what you have been through, that you're going to be completely normal, is questionable mentally themselves. And I'm going to say that on my live channel. It's just unbelievable. There's nobody that would have gone through what you have gone through and has come out completely normal. But I think you're fine. And I believe you. And a lot of people believe you. Tons of questions coming through. Oh, Betty just says, hallelujah, about time. Yes, I can't comment anymore, but the case is in the right hands. We are going to keep the public pressure because this is the only thing. Your cute little dog. Listen, does everyone agree with me that how can anybody sit there and judge someone that has been through such traumatic... They didn't even give her a chance to prove what she was saying. They didn't ask you for pictures, correct?
Well, Mr. Neal did. I
Well,
sent him some.
you just sent the picture of you, right? The one picture that I know of.
I have to go back into my thing and see which ones exactly.
Yeah, that's right, because what you said, your short-term memory a little bit has been affected.
Here.
Yeah.
A lot.
Which is... Okay.
But I can remember when I was 2.5. But I can't remember sometime even what day it is sometimes.
Yeah, Patty Becker says there is a man sitting behind bars for a crime he didn't commit. And for the way she has been treated, a lot of people should be losing their jobs. Unacceptable. Thank you very much, Patty. This attorney knew about this information. He kept it, and he should be disbarred. He didn't even have the decency to return my phone call. They wanted it to be relayed through a third party, and I said, absolutely not. Well, he's not going to call you back, be able to call you back for another day. Do you have a message for him? Yes. This is who I am. It is imperative that I speak to him, and it's regarding the Etan Patz case. But what I have proof that she sent me messages between his PI and her that he contacted her with, that what she's saying is true. This attorney for Pedro Hernandez knew this information while they were on trial. Unreal. Heather Stubb says, I wish I could like your comments 1,000 times, Patty. She's talking about yeah, absolutely. I think all of them should lose their job, and I think they should also have to go to some kind of sensitive school training. I believe their story because, like I said in my first video, even though I actually did find my husband's biological daughter, and it wasn't the girl I thought it was, it doesn't matter. I was put through the same rigmarole that she had been put through. First, oh yeah, we're gonna do it, and then it's, oh well, this excuse, and then it's that excuse. I mean, it's just Wendy Thompson is new to the story. Can you fill me in? I'm gonna do a small recap. The other video was extremely long. It was over an hour, and I don't want to put. Well, you're holding up very well, which is a good sign. You want to do a small recap for her? I can't call you by your name, so you want to do a small recap for her? You want to tell her what the story's about? No? I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. Well, I don't know what to call you. Anonymous. You want to recap for her while I read these comments? There's so many coming in. If you can just do a small one, if you don't mind.
My name is Jenny Lee Klein. I was stolen in 1974 from Moab, Utah. To be exact, I was stolen at Goose Island Trail. It's just...
And there were others as well. One, a high-profile case, Etan Patz, and Kurt Newton. Now, I know, do you remember anything about Kurt? You know, you did a little...
I grew up with them as my cousins. They were my fake cousins. Okay. The one that stole me gave me to her sister. The one that stole Kurt, the same one that stole Kurt is the same one that stole me and the same one that stole Ethan. Well, Kurt went to her brother. She kept Ethan.
Etan. She keeps saying Ethan. Etan. That's okay. I mean, we have some petty people underneath our blog, or underneath our thing, from the video before. Says you can't even remember his name. To be honest with you, I'm very familiar with Etan's case, and I always call him Ethan. So go ahead.
Yeah.
Some people are petty.
That's all right.
You know, or negative, but go ahead.
Right, one day.
All right, Wendy. Let's go back to. They want to hear more about Kurt Newton.
He grew up as my cousin. I really can't say much about them, but
yeah. Listen, until they do their job, until everything is done, she doesn't want to jeopardize them too much. But the pictures of who they are, unfortunately, will be provided. And you know, you have even tried to tell Etan, who you think is Etan, that he thinks you lost your marbles. Which is understandable. I mean, you're talking about, but at one point was open to it from what I've seen. Was exploring it at one time. Betty wants to know if you are married. If they are married.
If who's married?
Kurt or Etan. The people, we're going to call them that because I don't want to reveal the name they're going by. Are Kurt and Etan married?
No.
Does either of them have any kids?
No.
That is not surprising to me because in the world of what you explain that you grow up devil worshipping, that is very, very, very common. I don't know if you knew that. Mm-mm. And some of the even biological offspring will be sacrificed, which is another reason why they probably took these children to replace the ones that they sacrificed, so that way they would know, someone wouldn't question that, why is that person not there? And if you noticed, I'm wondering if the ages have any consistency with this as well. So not married, don't have any kids. You're welcome, Wendy. I want to only do this brief story. Now, there are a lot of questions, and I don't like, one thing that I don't like, especially if it is to speculate. We can speculate all day, and we can put things out all day. What it boils down to is they need to get her DNA. It needs to be proven either true or false. But it, you know, her concerns is which I also have those messages as well, stating that they're going to get your DNA. Another law enforcement actually told someone else that they got your DNA and that they matched it to Jenny and that it's not you. But yet no one took the DNA. But yet NamUs can't fund it and Utah Sheriff's Department can't fund it. Something here does not make sense whatsoever. Mm-hmm. I mean, those people should lose their jobs as well. But I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. And I'm calling on them for them to be investigated myself. Thank you very much for coming back on live and answering the questions. And we're going to do this periodically because there are so many questions. And one thing that I would encourage everyone to do is to watch the videos. Watch the videos on our YouTube channel, Save Missing in America, before you ask your questions, because a lot of the questions that were asked were addressed into the videos themselves. NamUs has been notified within the year, same thing. But I did get a comment from somebody stating that NamUs is now saying they'll find the money for your DNA.
I don't want to deal with them. When I came to them and I needed them, nobody wanted to help me. Why would I go back to somebody that wouldn't help me the first time when, no, I'm not dealing with
Well, because they're seeing how big the story is and the fact that they're They're being shown that they denied a girl that claims she was missing, Jennifer Klein, from 1974, is a big deal. Same thing with National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. This is very, very common to them. They see that it has a lot of interest. Now they want to move in and exploit the situation. Very, very, very common. So, thank you very much, honey. We are going to, like I said, and they also said that you couldn't personally fund it. You offered to pay for the test yourself, correct?
I did.
Yes. This is another thing. They told you what?
They told me that I can't pay for it myself. The money has to come from the National Justice Department. Something I can't remember offhand. Yeah, I even offered to buy the one from Ancestry, and they said that one won't work either.
That is not true, and I'm still waiting to hear back from CeCe Moore, and I know she is all about the person, not about the exploiting the situation, and she'll do it absolutely free. Now, this situation, I don't know if this fits because the other situations that she has done has been a little different, but I don't doubt it. If she would be willing to take your case pro bono. Like I said, I'm still going to be waiting to hear back from her, and I'll let you know. Her and I have been talking probably about 50 times a day. So we're going to get done here today. Is there anything you want the viewers to know?
Can you please share this so somebody in my family could be found?
Absolutely. Thank you. Anonymous, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.